Inside the Deck is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the best online retailer for Magic the Gathering singles and sealed product, and GatheringMagic.com, your place to explore the game.
Hi, I'm David Heineman, and I'm playing the Aristocrats Return here at Pro Tour Fate Reforged. Basically, the objective is to play as many 1/1 creatures for one that you can, that all have a come back into play or make a new creature trigger when they die. So it's got Young Wolf, which comes back in as a 2/2. It's got Tukatongue Thallid, which brings a sapperling when it dies. And of course, the best of them is Doomed Traveler. And so we get all these little these guys who sack well. We get creatures that have sacrifice outlets, Viscera Seer and Cartel Aristocrats, and then go to town with a few extra cards on top of that. So Sam Black came up with it, and then we had a big array of decks that were good, but this was one that I felt like I could really pilot and would give me an edge because it's sort of unknown. It's a creative deck. It's got some really good pairings, so I was really excited to try it, and then it's just fun to play. So what you do with the mana is you have a million of the sack lands, 11 of them, and then a bunch of like 4 duels, 3 basics, a Dryad Arbor, and like a few Razor Thickets and stuff. And basically, the mana works out well enough that you actually get to find the basics a lot of times against burn and stuff. It's pretty forgiving, but you don't have any room for colorless mana, is why I'm not playing like a Vault or a Gavany Township. The creatures in this deck, we have the guys who are good when they die. Those are Tukatongue Thallid. We have Young Wolf, who's a 1/1 for 1 green, comes back as a 2/2. We have Doomed Traveler, who when he dies brings back a spirit. We have Voice of Resurgence. So those are the guys who die well. We have Blood Artist, which sort of capitalizes on creatures dying, and 2 different sack outlets. Viscera Seer, which lets you scry by sacrificing any creature, which really helps you find your win conditions. And then also we have Cartel Aristocrat, which are both just ways of capitalizing on those creatures and making sure you can kill them when you need to. So the non-creature spells are Return to the Ranks, which is just this great spell, white X Convoke, that lets you get back the creatures from the graveyard. The deck doesn't run a lot of actual mana in particular, and so like it's great that you get to like attack, get your board kind of wiped, but then you get untapped guys, you tap them, and you make a bunch of, bring back everything that died. And then the other spell is Abzan Ascendancy. It makes them all huge, and then every time you sack, you get the extra spirit, and it's just very insane. And then there's a couple copies of Path to Exile because it just sort of helps a few of the matchups. So what I have in my sideboard, I've got some Torpor Orbs in case I have to play against Twin. I thought it was a likely deck here. Choke. I've got Stain the Mind in order to deal with some of the combo decks, have a bit of a chance against them. I've got Leyline of Sanctity to help smash burn. Burrenton Forge-Tenders also to beat the burn up, and then also a bunch of Stoney Silences for Affinity and Tron. In testing, we found that one of the best matchups was actually against Abzan. The things like Liliana are sort of blanked against you because you have plenty of creatures to sacrifice, and you don't really have a big hand to discard. You're not too worried about that either. And then their removal spells are sort of dead, and so they only have a few good cards against you. So it's a pretty easy matchup. Scavenging Ooze and like Siege Rhino are like the only 2 cards that are real honest to goodness threats. Some of the unfair decks, the combo decks, if you can outrace my deck and I don't need like blockers, I don't really have a chance to interact with. So those are really my worst matchups. I've got enough board against some of those combo decks to have a chance, but basically anything that's going to outrace me without trying to attack with creatures has a decent shot against me. What I like most about this deck is that I can play something fun and creative, and you know it's fun watching people have fun looking at a Magic deck and just like giggling at the fact that I'm playing Young Wolf and Tukatongue Thallid, and so it's just a nice way to experience the Pro Tour.